The Volquest 2-minute drill is brought to you by Craven Wings.
Alongside Eric Kane, I'm Austin Price. Craven Wings 2-minute drill. Tennessee falls to Georgia 27-13. Eric, Coach Heupel talked about it afterwards. Never got settled in.
Yeah.
Georgia played really well in all phases in that first half. They trailed 24-6 at the end of the first half. They end up losing this game 27-13 in what was kind of a wet second half with some downpours. I know everybody's going to be disappointed, but big picture here, Tennessee's got a real chance to still finish 11-1.
Yeah, and I know this is going to sound like a huge moral victory, and nobody wants to hear this right now, but I mean, picture yourself back in July, in August. Yeah. You said regular season 11-1 in the Sugar Bowl. Are you kidding me? It's disappointing today. I get it. And the first half was not fun. They milked that third quarter completely.
Sure,
one drive in 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Hendon Hooker had one interception. It was a really nice play by the defensive back, but more so than anything, affected his throwing. He was sacked 6 times. Tennessee's defense did not get after the quarterback on the other side.
Yeah, and more importantly, Tennessee was really affected by the crowd.
Yeah.
The crowd motivated by some comments before the game, and this place was loud. And you look back at J.J. Crawford, Darnell Wright, Gerald Mincy. There was a lot of false starts. Princeton Fant. Tennessee kept playing at 2nd and 15, 2nd and 20, third. At one point they had a 4th and 28, and they got bailed out by a face mask penalty. I mean, it felt like they were playing behind the sticks, and even the success they did have, it felt like they had to work 2 and 3 times harder than normal to get a 10-yard completion. They weren't able to do anything big.
Yeah, it was just kind of one of those games. The drive you're speaking of, that 4th and 28. I mean, I think it started like a 4th and manageable, 5 or 6, and then you got false start, false sack, 4 sacks in that one drive, and then you move on. It was just it was strange. And Jalen Hyatt mentioned the crowd noise afterwards. Josh Heupel mentioned it. Hendon Hooker. To act like it wasn't a factor. I mean, you didn't watch the football game. I know I haven't been around the SEC that much as we're talking about, but I mean, you and I couldn't talk. I couldn't hear myself think. It was so loud. It was definitely a factor, and it was a huge factor in this football game because Tennessee, it affected everything it did.
Yeah, I've been here every year since '04, and it was the loudest I've heard it.
Yeah.
It was comparable. Neyland comparable. LSU at night comparable. Auburn at night comparable.
No.
I'm not going to say it's the loudest stadium I've ever heard, but it's right up there, no doubt. I mean, it was a really good atmosphere, and they made it a home field advantage. And Georgia's defense, already talented, they didn't need a whole lot of extra help.
I thought Jalen Carter played a really nice game. He's getting healthier. He looked healthy tonight, coming back a little bit last week, and even on plays that he didn't get home or get back there. I mean, it was a timer for Hendon up the middle, and so he's just one guy. They look good defensively. Again, defensive backs made some plays. Georgia's a good football team. Tennessee deserved to be number 1 based on the resume. Tennessee is still a good football team. That's why he played out on the field, and tonight Tennessee was not very good.
Yeah, chances to get to Atlanta pretty much evaporated. Georgia would have to lose to Kentucky, lose to Mississippi State.
Because remember, they owned the tiebreaker over Tennessee. If they lose
so they've got to win 2 games. But at the same time, again, Tennessee has to kind of keep their head in the game. Can't let this game beat them a second time. You got Missouri at home next week. I think it helps because you're back at home, friendly confines, a week from now. But this is a Tennessee team. They came in, the stage as big as it can get, and they just didn't perform like I know they wanted to. Nobody's more disappointed in that group on that sideline.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like I know fans are disappointed. Tennessee, Josh Heupel, they're extremely disappointed in the outcome, but I think they're all chomping at the bit to get back to practice on Monday, get back to the playing field next Saturday, and they have to be, right? Because they still have some big things ahead of them if they finish the season the way they're capable.
Yeah, I mean, it's football, right? You only get 12 chances guaranteed in the regular season, and that's why every Saturday feels like such a big moment. So a loss like tonight, I mean, it sucks. I understand that from a fan's perspective. But one thing that's different is the leadership in that locker room. I asked the players, I said, this is your first loss of the season. What's different in those conversations after tonight's game than last night's game? It's always about just snapping clear, rinse, repeat, get back out there. And I think because of that leadership, Tennessee will not let this one game affect them against Missouri, who's been pesky in conference play. It's not going to be just a gimme, but of course I think Tennessee can get back on track.
He is Eric Kane. I'm Austin Price. This has been the Craven Wings 2-minute drill. Tennessee falls to the Bulldogs, 27-13. They'll return home next week to take on the Missouri Tigers.
When you're craving wings, it's got to be Craven Wings. Online at cravenwings.com.